Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em, single bottle, never stop it. To the beast and on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in the...
Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I'm Del Altman, joined by all the co-hosts today, except Derek. He'll be here eventually. Pork Chop, BSG, and Travis, our guy from Boogered Up.
Hello. How y'all doing? Hello. Hi.
What's up, buddy?
Hi.
What's up, Trav?
Travis is being all positive and shit before the show started. I was about to throw up.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I had to rewatch. I join in every now and then on the lives because you guys do such a great job as a show to let every average fan know how the emotions should run and everything, because you guys aren't fucking inside the office trying to get, all the other cool stuff going on in your lives. You guys are just the fucking kick-ass fans. Letting the kick-ass fans know, and I like to watch your guys' shit. I had to go back and watch the last episode so I could really reel it in before I came in here and started yelling about 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2. And I heard Greg get pretty fired up about that last week, and I was like, all right, I'll let that one slide. But it ain't that fucking bad, man. It ain't that goddamn bad. I want to throw it out there automatically. And the title of this episode, are the Bengals wasting Joe Burrow's talent, might be the most overreaction Monday statement I've ever heard. Seriously. I it off.
I can just say this question and pass it around the horn. I'll start with you, Chop.
Okay.
Would Joe Burrow be MVP with a half-assed defense? And is that not? I mean, we should be like going for the 1 seed. That's how good Joe and Jamar are playing. So I almost, if anything, could have titled it, is Joe and Jamar and Trey, are we wasting all their special seasons they're having? But go ahead, Chop. What are your thoughts on that overall?
I mean, 100 fucking %. Look, there's 32 fucking teams in the NFL. If our defense was 16, all right, 6 fucking team, we would be like our number. I don't know what the record would be. We would definitely have a winning record. We would possibly be winning our division. But in the meantime, our defense, it's shit. It's shit. Besides one person, we got 3 players that are the best at their position in the NFL right now. Joe Burrow is playing his best football he's ever played right now. Jamar Chase is playing the best football he's ever played right now. If you would ask me last year who's the best receiver in the NFL, 100% Justin Jefferson. Not anymore. Not anymore. Fucking Jamar Chase took the crown. Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's sitting at 4 and 6. Yeah, that sucks. Are they wasting his talent? Fuck yeah, they are. They did the same shit to Carson Palmer. Let me tell you, Travis, you've been watching the show. You probably know that I've said that recently, and this has really hit me very hard personally. Because you guys were there too through the 90s and shit like that. But
but how long you been a fan, Chop?
I'm 52 fucking years old, man.
I've been a fan for 20 plus years, and it breaks my heart. But you've been here even longer.
The Bengals were around 4 years before I was born. So what happened was everybody thought that the ownership was real shitty. People bitched about it all the time, and then we got Joe Burrow, and things changed. And then he got hurt, and so we were able to get the 5th pick the next year, and we got Jamar Chase. We got 2 of the best wide receiver quarterback combo in the fucking league, to be honest. And we were bamboozled. We were fooled by the talent of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And then we had one good fucking free agency after Joe Burrow got his ass fucking smashed in the Super Bowl. Got Alex Kappa, Ted Karras. We got, lucky on Trey Hendrickson.
We got like
Hilton Bell for that year.
Hilton and Woozier. There's a couple free agencies that
such a good free agency, which hasn't happened since then. So to me, that was luck. If that was skill, and you were scouting these free agents or the ones in the draft, you would hit on them every year. But they're not doing that. So what's recently been shown to me, my eyes are open that the fucking Bengals are the fucking Bengals. The front office is the front office. It hasn't gotten any better. It hasn't gotten any worse. We're at the same thing that we were at before Joe Burrow when Carson Palmer took his fucking ball and quit. And to tell you the truth, are we at risk of this happening to Joe Burrow? Why not? Why not? Joe Burrow wins a Super Bowl on many other teams. This team right here, the ownership, I mean, it's not like they're going to sell it. I'm bitching about nothing. It's like when you get in a fight with your wife, Travis, and you fucking bitch. You already know you're going to just keep loving her. You know what I mean? And you're going to, in your hand, you're going to apologize for it.
You're not winning that either. So
you're going to apologize for it. What the fuck else am I going to do? Am I going to go root for the dumb fucking Steelers? The dumb fucking Ravens? Fuck no. The Cleveland? Hell no. Maybe Commanders. But
because you love Jaden Daniels. And he couldn't even get a win against the Steelers yesterday, so
right.
I don't want to hear it.
But I'm not going to root for any other team. So, like, if you ask me if they're wasting Joe Burrow's talent, yes. They didn't do a goddamn thing in fucking before the trade deadline. They talked to some people. Oh, fucking hey, here you go. Here's a talk to you people gift. Thank you so fucking much for stopping by and talking to people. It's bullshit. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm very frustrated. Very frustrated.
What you just said, you were talking about jumping teams. One of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to be on this show today is because I got a group chat with my brother and my dad. My dad has been a lifelong Bengals fan his whole life. I got a tattoo on my ribs with the fucking logo right here, and we all have the same tattoo. And I got a text from my brother, and I got a text from my dad. My brother asked his mother-in-law for a Lions jersey, and my dad, who married a Lions fan, is now rooting for the Lions and is sidelining the Bengals for the season. And I have never been more disrespectful to my brother and my dad in my entire life. I told them that I said some shit that I probably shouldn't say on YouTube. And I said, you guys are terrible, and I don't want you back at the end of this season. I really don't want you to come back onto the realm and be like they were always the number one. You gave up on these guys. Oh, I got potential spam. Oh, my God, I can't stand these calls now. I literally don't come back in it when we finally figure it out. They were saying on the announcements of there, why do we always heat up around this time? The reason why we heat up around this time is because we always start slow. Every single year, it always happens. Even when we're fucking great teams, we eat dicks. When we lost to the Patriots, nobody was shocked. Nobody was confused about it. Granted, we're 4-6 right now. And to break it down, I have something that everybody's already done. But to think about it again in this situation, I sat there from Friday or Thursday night all the way to now, thinking about it, breaking down a little bit, and realized that like we're 10 points away from 8-2. Like we are 10 points away from four of the best teams that we faced in our schedule to be 8-2. We lost 1 to the Chiefs, 1 to the Ravens, 3 to the Ravens, and 5 to the Commanders. And the only reason why the Commanders beat us was the first game Jaden Daniels was actually able to whip it out and show everybody.
The Bengals give a lot of teams their first. I've went over that before.
And it doesn't help when our defense doesn't play it the way that they should. Britt Taylor is confused as all hell. I have no idea what's going on with him. I've been screaming at my TV. I told my dad when I went over for dinner, I miss Eli Apple because at least Eli Apple would run his mouth. And when he had good games, you can be entertained by it. But when he had bad games, you had to point at him and say, shut the hell up. But for this one, he's getting burnt. He's getting crossed up. I saw a video earlier today that Ace put up, and he said that he's just not him right now. He's in a massive slump. I think it was Bateman that ran off on the side and just completely left him in the dust. I'm not saying that our defense is awful, but they're clearly not great because we have one of the leading tacklers. Our leading sacker has damn near every single sack on the team, which is a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
I honestly think one of the biggest problems we had last Thursday is Cody Ford. And God, I hate that man so much for taking over my TikTok algorithm, let alone almost ruining Joe Burrow's career last Thursday. Yeah. But if we don't have Cody Ford in there and there's a couple extra blocks, there's a couple extra seconds, where are we looking at here? Because Joe Burrow was getting absolutely ate up, and we know the calls. We know all that shit. We don't have to do that. But, I mean, for Joe Burrow to get lit up like he did on that late hit and have no call on that one, and then you have Patrick Mahomes, who is now getting hot mic about asking, let him know if he's coming through here. We have to stop treating Joe Burrow as if he's Mac Jones coming in the league and he has to earn his stripes. Joe Burrow is one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the league every single year when he is healthy. You have to protect that man in order for the future of the NFL to have a shining bright trophy. But, hold on. Put a Rogue in. That shit was getting spicy. Genuinely, I came on here mainly because my brother and dad thing, because I just wanted to talk about it. I had to talk about it to fans because there's absolutely no reason why anybody should be saying the season's done. We're literally still in the wild card run. We face the Chargers. We face teams that are going to help us. There's no reason why our offense can't score another 3. Why can't we give Evan McPherson that 52-yard field goal and give him the shot instead of trying to go 3rd and 2, 4th and 2?
Well, to be fair, he's been awful with the 50-yarders this year.
And the best part is, you want to know why?
Why?
You know why.
Rico?
Clark Harris, the whole setup. You got Clark, new holder.
No. He had sex.
He had sex.
Oh,
that is true.
Right. He did.
He did. We've talked about that. Yeah.
I've been on this for a long time. When I found out that he got married and he finally was able to find out, I was so mad.
It's not been the same since.
He was kicking bottles off and kicking caps off of bottles.
Kicking the lid off a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah.
And then he finally got married and he found out what life truly could be. And he goes, I don't need to strive for this greatness like this anymore. There's something so much better in this world.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Hey, let me piggyback something off of what Travis said before you go to Greg, is that I'm not counting them out yet. And what I said, my rant, I hope nobody takes that as I'm not going to be a Bengals fan. Fuck, I got so much goddamn orange shit in this fucking house. What am I going to do with all of it? You know what I mean? I'm always going to be a Bengals fan. But in the first half of the game on Thursday, I felt like we saw what the defense could be. You know, they held the hottest offense in the NFL to 7 fucking points. So I saw what we could be, but then they just gave up. And so this next game, it's the decider for me going into the bye week. If we go out to LA and we lose to the Chargers, Travis, it's fucking done.
Yeah, you're 4-7, and the Steelers are playing lights out, and you got them twice.
It's done.
But yeah,
I mean, it makes you feel better when you realize you're going up against Indianapolis and who's the other team right now for the wild card?
Well, the Broncos are now
the Colts.
The Colts are tied with us at 4-6, but the team that we're trying to get to is the Broncos, who we still play later in the season, and they lost to the Chiefs. As much as I can't the playoff scenarios. I said this on X/Twitter yesterday. I can't get excited about them yet. I'll be all ready to get hurt all over again come Sunday night when we play the Chargers. Exactly. But we need to beat a good team. We've only beat teams with losing records. We need to go out and beat a team. Chargers are like 6-3. That's a win that we need to get to take seriously. But Denver just being, one game ahead of us, and they're on our schedule. So in a way, you do still control your destiny. And if the Bengals get in the playoffs with Joe Burrow, who we're talking about at quarterback, and Jamar Chase and Trey Hendrickson, you will always have a shot if you get in the dance. So I'm always going to say, get in the playoffs and see what can happen.
Well,
but we're in dangerous territory right now of playoffs are going to be a lost cause if we drop another one here in prime time, and I got to stay up staring at my ceiling till 3 in the damn morning again.
Yeah, no.
Well, dive into that. Like you just said, we have only beat teams with losing records. But when I said earlier that we have 4 games that were 10-point difference total from winning that game, what is the massive difference in those 4 games with 3 of the best opponents that we have faced, 2 of them being Baltimore twice, who's hot fire, but like kind of iffy on games. But if they're not iffy, they're hot fire. What is the massive difference in the 3 teams that we faced where we gave up 10 points total?
I mean, I just think with the losses, like there's always the saying in general of, good teams find ways to win. We see it with the Chiefs here, somehow still undefeated by blocking a 35-yard kick. And teams that are bad teams, we got to put ourselves in that category right now, being 4-6, find ways to lose because between a bad hold, between everything went downhill. We were up 21-7 halfway through the third, Chase Brown's fumble, and then all of a sudden the defense went back to the defense that we seen against the Ravens the first time, where they could not get a stop, especially in the second half. The Eagles, we couldn't get a stop. We couldn't get pressure. Like, I don't know. And I don't think the Chiefs are world beaters. That's why I say if we get in, Travis, the close games we know we can play with anybody, right? Because we've done it, like you're saying. Yeah. It's just we've got to put together enough. We got to go out there and win Sunday. At the end of the day, if you don't go out there and win Sunday, it doesn't matter. And I feel like we've been saying that you got to get a win against this Ravens. You got to get a win. And it's just for whatever reason, one thing happens and everything spirals and goes downhill.
we give them the next week because we know how good this team is. How don't count Joe Burrow out, but how far into the win-loss column do you get before you do count?
And what
Joe
more
Burrow
can
out?
Joe do or Jamar do? Because what they did in that Ravens game was spectacular, and their interior O-line play, especially the guards, was atrocious, and it's been atrocious most of the season. And then the pass rush on the flip side, we can't get pass rush hardly outside of Trey. And that's just the trenches are killing us. That's why, like, I'll see people do mock drafts and be like, Ashton Genty. I think Ashton Genty from Boise State should be the Heisman Trophy winner. But
check it out.
Hey, no. Patrick Mahomes overrated this year.
Yeah.
And listen, y'all just got a good team, and you go out and you get Josh Uche and you get DeAndre Hopkins. You make the moves that we want to see the Bengals do, and we do think, as my little subtitle here says, front office sucks. They suck because they don't do the things. They're trying to – Yannick Ngakoue, the Patriots claimed him, which thanks a lot, Patriots. That screwed us. We could have had another pass rusher. But he was out there for a month to start the season. Calais Campbell, a guy late in the process, we said, hey, he's still out there even after his first wave of free agency, after the draft, after everything. It's like, get that guy. Yeah, the man's 38, but he's still playing at a high level. He's like the fifth-rated defensive tackle in the NFL right now per PFF. Guys that you could have had. Who's the other – like Xavier Howard that came in for a visit. We didn't sign him today. It fell through at the last minute or whatever is what's being reported out there. And then we signed some practice squad running back, which isn't going to help us at all. We traded for a running back, 7th-round guy. Well, that didn't do us any good. First snap, couldn't even handle it, stood over on the sideline. But anyways, Greg, you have something. Plus, are they wasting Joe Burrow's talent before
are
we
they
continue?
doing that, Greg?
Before I get to anything, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans that have served the country.
Shout out.
Yep. And Travis, one thing I'm surprised by, usually when I say something positive, Chop throws me off the show usually and all that. So I'm amazed as hell you did not get thrown off the show or anything.
He's a guest, Greg.
That's true.
Yeah, he's a guest, Greg.
We get tired of your shit. We have to deal with your shit twice a week.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
I'm just fucking with you,
He was
Greg. I won't do it
begging for
again.
that. He was
I had to
begging
do
for
it
that
the one time.
He was begging for
Hey,
it.
guys.
And look, now he dipped.
No, but no. Look, I mean, I try to be Mr. Positivity, and I still am. And Travis, I love your positivity, man. Mickey Mantle once said, "It ain't over till it's over," and all that. So, but yeah,
We agree. It doesn't feel like the Bengals are wasting Joe Burrow's talent.
As of right now, yes, this season. Oh, absolutely, yes. It seems like that way. But I'm not going to stop, man. Like Travis said, we're still giving these gifts right here, man. The AFC is crap right now. This is like the most positive I've been for a 4-16 in my entire life. I mean, if this was any other year, I'd be like, hell no, pretty much. But yeah, no, the way Burrow and Chase are playing, Burrow's the MVP right now. If we were like barely over 500, this wouldn't even be a debate right now. Burrow's the MVP, 100%. And Chase, best receiver in the league right now. But yeah, as of right now, yeah. But do I think they could kick it into high gear? Absolutely. I still think they could. I mean, you look at all the crap quarterbacks we have to go up against. I mean, Herbert, decent, but Cooper, Rush.
But we had – here's my thing. Yeah, you can say, well, look at some of these bad teams. We are one of those bad teams, number one. Number two, the Chargers, 6-3. That's a good football team with a good pass rush, a great offensive line, a good running game, and Herbert, who's not awful. They could use another receiver or so, but that's a very good team. You've got to beat them.
Oh, yeah, no.
Steelers are what? 7-2? We act like, and we play them 2 more times.
No.
That's 3 games right there.
No,
you lose all 3 of those, you're at 9 losses. You're out.
If the Steelers had Joe Burrow right now, that'd be the best team in the league, hands down, right now. But yeah, it irritates me. You look at the Steelers. I mean, Russell Wilson, he played decent yesterday, but compared to Joe Burrow, I mean, like, it just goes to they're proving they don't need a good quarterback to win as long as you have a good defense and all that. And defense wins you games. And yeah, the defense, man, like Chop was, to go back to what Chop was saying, the first half of the Ravens game, people forget our defense was doing decently well, forcing a couple of punts in. That's all you need. I'm not telling to be a shutdown defense.
Right.
Just be halfway decent. When you're scoring over 30 points a game, if you're scoring the games, when you get over 30 points in a game, you should automatically be expected to win that game.
But that's why Lou probably should have been gone a long time ago, too, because, yeah, they've had some first halves, especially where it's been good, or they play some bad teams and it looks kind of decent the whole game. When you're playing a Daniel Jones or guys like that, the defense looks better, of course. But, when they're playing these good teams, second half, these offenses are cooking them up. The same thing happened in the Eagles game, right? We were right in it, but that second half, that defense couldn't stop anybody. The Ravens first time couldn't stop anybody. Patrick Mahomes had a terrible season, honestly, but then we couldn't stop the Ravens the second time. So the best teams that we've had to play, the defense cannot get a stop when it matters in the second half at all.
And I'll be honest with you on that too. I've switched up a lot. As much as I will point the finger as much as I possibly can on the refs because they are fucking dog shit. They are awful. They are the worst fucking thing that is in football right now, and it's the referees.
It's awful.
Honest to God, you take away that pass interference call that we got versus Kansas City, we win that game.
Yes.
Easily.
We all saw it.
And we stopped them from being undefeated. God knows where their season is now if they have received a loss, because that's a momentum shift amongst itself as it is already. And then you take on Baltimore. You look at what we did last game with that one. When we ended up coming back in the second half, and our first drive, we sent a bomb out the chase, and we fucking shoved it right down their throats. We're 21-7 at that point, and we're like, oh, fuck, we got this in the bag. Again, between those 4 games, what happened between us? I think personally, whether it was the trying to keep it safe, kind of play like, oh, fuck, we're winning, let's not lose this game. Oh, my God, what's happening? Last game was the first time I didn't see that happen with our offense.
I agree.
Still was extremely aggressive and was trying. Like I fucking mentioned the 3rd and 2nd and the 4th and 2nd. Do I think it was stupidity at its finest? 100%. But did I enjoy seeing it? Yes, because as much as the 9 for 11 that Chase Brown was for drop-off passes to actually get a couple yards and keep us going, we should have made the play. We've thrown fucking -3 passes to Jamar Chase for a first down, and we've understood that was the play. And we're like, what are we fucking doing? So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the rest of the schedule. As much as I think, and it hurts. This one hurts. Steelers are fucking great right now. Steelers are phenomenal right now.
You got to hope to split with them, really.
Yeah,
they are. We'll take the very last game because they're going to sit their people.
But we got to get them. I think we got to get them before that because we got them at home. Yeah. So we've got to get the Chargers game first and foremost, obviously. But the next we get a bye. But you're coming off a bye week too, so it's a week to rest everybody, a bye week, and Steelers at home. You could win the next 2 and be 6-6, and we'd all feel a hell of a lot better about this season.
I think we beat the Chargers. I think we lose to the Steelers. And I think we lose to the Steelers in another very close game. And I hope to God, you see me here. I got my hands on prayer. Hopefully we do not have the stripe interference and we have actual good football to where we can showcase that there was an error one way or another way, however it was on our end, more than likely. And we go, okay, that's one time right there, that one play that changed the whole game. Whether it's the fumble by Chase Brown that shakes the momentum of it all, and then we're starting to go down the sideways slope of it. I hope it's not Watt with a fumble to Joe. If we have whoever the fuck it is, hopefully God, Cody Ford is sitting on the farther side of the bench and he's not on the goddamn field and we don't have to see him face him. But I genuinely think we're all right. I think the Steelers is a loss. And other than that, we've got the Browns, we've got Titans, we've got the Cowboys, we got the fucking Steelers again at the very end. I think the Steelers are going to sit everybody. You look at our fucking schedule in 2021 and 2022, you look at how we played on that one. We had a whole green slate at the end of the season in 2022, and we lost, I think, 2 in 2021 at the end of our bye week. Well, we all know that once we come back through bye week, through halfway through the season, we start catching fire. We start doing really fucking good. Besides that Philly game, that was absolute dog shit. I've seen more improvements slightly every single week from the Bengals that I think that we might actually have something going towards a further the end of it. As long as we make it to the playoffs, we know we're an end-of-the-season team. And I think that if our defense just shakes it up a little bit, we go up a couple notches on there, we make that one stop, that one drive, that one interception that we almost had. Genuinely, where are we at here? Like, we are not a fucking bad team. We are the best 4-6 team the NFL has ever fucking seen.
Hey, Travis. Sorry.
I was just going to say this one from the Chiefs fan here. Bengals don't look the same without Joe Mixon. See, I have nothing against Joe Mixon. I like Joe Mixon, this and that, but you cannot tell me Joe Mixon here. He's number one, he's a better fit with the Texans, but number two, they're giving the man like 25 carries a game and running him into the ground. Is that really even a good thing to do? We know Joe Mixon's injury history from being here. Is that good to do for them looking at a playoff run? But also, I think the bigger problem that we're missing was on the other side of that field last night and why Joe Mixon didn't have a big game, and that's DJ Reader with the Lions.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. Joe Mixon should have went for an extra 14 fucking yards, man. That son of a bitch.
Is that what you needed? Is that what you needed?
14 fucking yards. Joe Mixon, I picked over 60. The man's going 100 yards every fucking game.
Literally same, 60. I washed it down. 70 was the line for every single game, so I washed it down to 60, thinking I was locked and loaded.
14 fucking yards. Let me say this too, because Greg, you said something about Dallas, and Travis, you said something about Dallas. Man, I ain't fucking counting out Cooper Rush. This motherfucker diced us up like a fucking cuisine last time we played him.
I don't care.
I'm not saying that he's a good quarterback or whatever, but
look, it's
backup quarterback's got a way of fucking handling the Bengals.
How did we start that game versus Baltimore? How did we start the game versus Philly? The one that fell apart on Philly, the one we finally started doing. We saw a rush offense where as soon as we got that fucking first down, as soon as we got that 8 yards, we ran up on the ball and we're playing fast offense. We saw that in 2021 and 2022 where we were actually shoving it down their throats and letting the defense not get on their feet, and we were fucking killing them. We're starting to see that shit again. To throw back at the Chiefs fan, Mixon's not what fucks me up every single week.
No.
It's Jesse fucking
Bates.
Yeah, that
DJ
one too.
Reader.
Yes.
Jesse Bates and DJ Reader, the defense.
DJ Reader, yeah.
But honestly, DJ Reader, feel it a little bit. But every week in my group chat, I tell them Jesse Bates is one of the best, if not the best safety in the league. He makes the most impact plays. And this year, I think is going to be a big year for us because I've been saying it on the past of this show when I was on it. We had a time frame. We had a time limit. We had a ticking time bomb where all these contracts are going to start to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it. I think this is the year we see something different that brings us all back with some hope. At the end of this year, whatever happens on this one, we're paying people. We're going to start to do this shit because we're going to have to reconstruct, or it's an absolute wash away after this year.
Hey, Travis, I want to bring this up, man. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist or anything, but you just kind of wonder, with the bad calls being, this is right when gambling starts becoming legal and all that, you just kind of wonder with the refs, because refs have always made bad calls, but, man, the last year or two, man, just been god-awful. I mean, obvious calls that should have been called. I mean, you look at a bunch of face masks NFL that should have been called. I'm just saying, you know, with the Chiefs winning all these games now the block field goal, that just happened and all that. But I'm just saying.
I'm not going to say I disagree. I've seen more than I probably should have looking into it as a gambler and seeing everything on that nature and wondering why is at 99% of the betting slate going against this one person. And then there's a finger injury to him and he's out for 3 drives in a row while they hand it off to the other running back. And then, now his handoffs are slightly 8 to 10 handoffs less, and he comes up short so that Vegas can take the win. I'm not going to sit here and say the NFL is scripted and go through a whole conspiracy hole because we're talking about the future of the Bengals. But I genuinely think that if anything, for the best of the NFL, for conspiracy, for ratings and everything, the Lions are already doing it, and it's really good for their showcase and everything. The Bengals are another one that's always been the underdog. If you want to have ratings up, when the Bengals were in the Super Bowl, when the Bengals were going in on
that's true.
Everybody was shooting up and watching it because they're like, oh, shit, this is a team that I can get behind as an American person that doesn't follow football, that doesn't pay attention to football that much, but there's an underdog and there's a great story to it. I think that the best for NFL, if we're playing script shit, we're blowing smoke up our butts, NFL's got to put the Bengals in the playoffs because there's you're putting the Colts.
They fucking hate Paul Brown. They haven't given it up, man. They hate.
And Mike Brown still votes against every.
Right, Mike Brown votes against everything, Travis. They don't like Mike Brown. Yeah.
The only reason they give us any recognition right now is because Joe Burrow smacked the fucking recognition right out of him. Well, I mean, he demanded it.
We have almost a leading tackler. I don't think he's a leading tackler now, and I don't know if Hendrickson now is the leading sacker in the NFL still currently. But two positions. Two positions where we are absolutely dominant in between tackles and sacks and everything. We are literally that close every single game.
Yes.
Switching everything and points in general and just overall opportunities towards the end of the game. We are that close from 1 point, 3.5 points away from completely switching our whole season up. We're not even close to being done. The Bengals don't have a pass rush. No shit.
Yeah.
We got Trey Hendrickson.
We have one. Yeah. And you got to see more Miles Murphy, right? Like his advanced analytics stuff and pass rush win rate and all that stuff was really good last game. But he only had like 6 pass rush snaps and he's winning at like a 33% clip on those. It's like, you got to get more of that. Those are 33% like trade numbers. Now it's small sample size, but you can't tell me Hubbard and Osai are doing any better, especially as pass rushers. So we need to see more Miles Murphy, first-round pick invested in him. And the biggest problem is still interior pass rusher. We never have filled the void from Larry Ogunjobi.
Oh, gosh, he was playing lights out yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah.
If they could have a chance to get Milton Williams from the Eagles after this season, who's scheduled to be a free agent, don't mean he makes it there, but that'd be huge.
I'll camp out at his house if I have to go get him.
Well, that might be a turnoff.
You know, some of this with the defense, number one, fucking tackling. Can we learn how to tackle? And number two is I just think that there's something like there's a disease. It's infectious in this in the defense, because I'm just going to take the one play where that number 16 for the Ravens, who the fuck was that guy? He came off the practice squad or something for that
Wallace.
game.
Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace.
I mean, you watched Logan Wilson and Geno Stone give up on the play because I think it was initially Cam Taylor-Britt that missed him. Well, they saw him running over there and just stopped running. And then by that time, they couldn't catch up to him.
I made there's a couple of people at my house laugh when that game was on because I was so pissed off at how bad that play was. One of the worst defensive plays I've ever seen in my existence. I yelled and said that Geno Stone was actually secretly still playing for the Ravens, and we had no idea, and he let him through. And they started laughing. I was like, I'm being very serious. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
How did he let him go through? What happened there?
Yeah.
And everybody thought I was just a conspiracy theorist amongst belief, but it was wild to see. Again, it's all the fucking small plays, and I understand one of the comments was the biggest problem is hard to have hope when you know that the defense is trash. The defense is absolutely
exactly. I agree with
they
that.
are literally, and I'm not sitting here holding hope for this one fucking play and one stop, whether it's on offense or defense, but we are fucking one play away. We are one situation to happen to be a completely different game every single week. Like it's not as if we are fucking lost in the cause. Like we are still one of the best teams in the NFL. We have an MVP quarterback. Like
I got to tell you, if something happens and they do make a run, it's going to make one hell of a fucking NFL story movie, right?
And that's what it is. And we have that. It's so every year we are a fucking Cinderella story. Every single year we are the most beautiful story in the NFL. Yeah. And touching on what you said earlier about Joe getting the ball out quick like we did when we did that Super Bowl run and stuff, man, I'm pretty sure that I read a statistic that the NFL just tied. I mean, the Bengals just tied the NFL record for the most pressures in one game, which is like 40. Yeah. That's like it only happened one time in the NFL before. I mean, we got that one. We got that record for twice, and then the other one we got twice was Jamar Chase. Because it's the second time he's went over 250 yards in a game in his career, and that's there's only one other wide receiver that's went over 250 yards twice in his career. Pretty sure I read that statistic. I was shocked by it, but this man's still young. He's got a chance to do it again. Hopefully, it's for this team. I hate to say this, and it's not going to happen clearly because it's Monday, unless something crazy happens. If I'm Jamar Chase in this one, if we lose next week, I'm sitting. I'm sitting until I get paid. If we lose versus the Chargers, I'm going to sit, and I'm not going to risk my career on this, especially if we somehow find a way to lose versus the Chargers and it's another close game, or even if we get blown out. If there's an L on that board and our postseason or just got so much farther away from us, I'm sitting out, and it's not going to be it's a thing that he has to do.
No,
I don't disagree.
That's a good point you make. I wouldn't blame him.
I don't think he does.
He's got 10 touchdowns in 10 games. We should have took care of that prior. We knew who the fuck we had.
He's also looking to set records though this year, and that's only going to make us. That's going to make his price tag go up even more.
Yeah, no, he's trying to make his price tag go up. You're right, Dale.
I was saying, before all this season actually started and stuff, or whatever, that I found out that he wanted $40 million a year. He's going to get it now for sure.
Oh, he'll easily get $40 million.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, he's going to get somewhere between 35 and 40 at least, right?
Or
Jefferson got the 35.
Or he'll get it somewhere, like you said, Dale. He'll get it somewhere.
Yeah, he will.
I mean, I personally don't feel like either one of them are going to leave the team.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, how the fuck far do you push somebody?
Yep.
Trey is still leading the NFL with 11 sacks. Dexter Lawrence didn't have any. He's still at 9. And then it's like a couple guys with 8.5. So Trey is still leading the NFL. And I was looking at, too, for the defensive rankings. So the Chargers next Sunday night, they are 8th overall in yards given up. So that's a damn good defense. Plus, they didn't even hardly play Khalil Mack. They were like, we can beat the Titans with dialing him back and saving him up for next Sunday night. So they've got him, Bosa, the Thule. I ain't even going to attempt his last name. They've got a lot of good pass rushers that'll give us some fits on the line. So like somebody said, sure hope Orlando Brown's back next week. I agree with that. And him and T both, even though the offense been putting up points, you still want to have T in the big moments. Oh, yeah. I would like to have T for that 2-point conversion, you know.
Ugh. And I mean, just to throw it out there with it, like one, because you said about the Chargers it's going to make us not have a good game. When have we ever had a season or full of games where we just went in and we took care of business and we walked out and it wasn't like almost an absolute nightmare that put our heart rates at 160? Like we've never been a team that's gone in there and just absolutely crushed everybody and walked out and was smiling.
Couple games here and there. We beat the Ravens at one time and put up like 500. And there was like one against the Steelers too. And Mike Hilton had a pick 6. And
those are games so not consistent to where you're looking at it, you just take a deep breath and you're like, this is fun football, because we know how it feels to be like the Chiefs when they had Tyreek and shit, and when they had the defense that was unbelievable, when they're just beating the shit out of teams. We've never had that. We've always had consecutive games where we're just tooth and nail and we're fighting our ass off, and we might win by 2 touchdowns. But it's literally at 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, we end up going with 2 touchdowns and finally can breathe. But we know how we are team. We're not breathing. We're still terrified.
How in the hell are the Titans the number 1 defense? I'm just scrolling this. And the Titans are their number 1 defense because they have the number 1 pass defense.
Awuzie.
And we play them too. I'm just saying. I think Awuzie's been hurt. I don't even know that he's been playing, but
they're the opposite of us. They were the same team as the Steelers prior to Russell Wilson going in there. The offense couldn't do anything, but the defense was great. So it was shitty games, and nobody really paid attention. Then you fell apart. But the only difference was the Steelers were able to pull it together at the end to be able to do something fun. And the Titans would have Will Levis posting up for a meme photo every single week because he did something stupid. And he would lose every single game. And then there was other games they got absolutely smashed.
But, so a lot of discourse online is the Xavier Howard not signing because it was reported, that they did offer him. He had a good workout, and they didn't sign him. Now, a lot of people are pissed off like, oh, this is the Bengals being cheap, this, that, and the other. This man's sitting out there. No one signed him all season. He had some off-the-field stuff, too, about sending text to an ex-girlfriend's son.
He sent text of himself having sex with his mom. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. He sent pornographic footage to his
Xavier Howard, cornerback, been in the league a long time. He's like 31. He played on the Dolphins. He's been like a Pro Bowl guy in the past, and familiarity with Lou being a former Dolphin and played there when Lou was there. But I mean, to me, I'm like, they offered him, which means they offered him the vet minimum, prorated at whatever, however many games are left, and that's what I would have offered him. If this man wanted like $2 or $3, $4 million to finish out the season, like, I'm sorry, man, you're not getting that. You need to come in here and still prove something.
Well, Dale, like, who else was offering him? He was sitting on his couch. I'm like, what is his side of the bargain? Like, what does he have for his side of the bargain?
Maybe he has some other visits lined up, but that we don't know about, but I'm just saying it was definitely odd. Do you guys blame the front office? Because a lot of people are very angry about that.
I don't blame them.
I'm not mad about this one. I'm mad about a lot of things, but I can't be mad about that.
No, I personally think they shouldn't even brought him in for a workout. And the reason, do we need help at cornerback? Would he help? He would. But this man
his coverage grade was like 51 last year, though.
He's a step under fucking Deshaun Watson as far as human beings go in general. I mean, you send your fucking ex-girlfriend pornographic footage on the text. That's nasty.
They're her kid, like a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, like a kid.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's in court for this shit, man. Yeah. I don't want that on my team. If anything, what that tells me is the team's reverting back to when we went out and got fucking desperation ass character people, man. Yeah. You know what? Are we desperate? Sure, we could use the help, but man, I don't want that on my team. I don't want it.
And Eli Apple, Travis mentioned Eli Apple. I'm pretty sure he's still on the Chargers practice squad. So I don't know. You can sign him. You can sign. You can call him up and sign him right now and get the game plan.
I mean, we'd
get
rather
the Chargers
have
game
this
plan
guy.
if he has it.
Dale, get the phone up right now. Pick up the phone.
Get the phone. Call Eli Apple.
All right, Eli. Listen, I know it's a little contentious here at times, and I don't even know that you're that good. This is me speaking to Eli Apple, but we're gonna sign you because you're on a practice squad and you're gonna be on our 53-man roster, and we'll see how you look, and we'll go from there. You should know the system because you've been here. All right. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
The only thing that we upgraded on the system that you played for is we give up the second half now.
Yep.
Before we were a second half team, Lou would go in there, the mad scientist, and make his adjustments and come out and fucking beat a 23-point deficit from the Chiefs. That was Lou. Now Lou goes in and goes, relax, man. We're good. Joe Burrow is going to score every time. So everybody just take a break. Let's save ourselves for the next game.
Yeah, I don't know. Another guy, Gabe Hall, because I'm a big draft guy, I had like a 5th-round grade on him. He's sitting out there on the Eagles practice squad. They're not calling him up anytime soon because their D-line is freaking nasty as is. And this guy's like 6'6", 290. And I mean, he can move out to edge, but you're going to bring him in to be a 3-tech, give you a little pass rush. I'm not saying he'd be a world beater, but we're at the point in the season that we need pass rush so bad. Why wouldn't you go out and sign a guy like that? And then you at least get a look at him. Hell, even if he's inactive on game days, right? Who gives a shit? Get him in here and get a look at him when you're 53. Yeah. Maybe he can help you in the future, if not this season.
There's a part
pick up the phone again. Another phone call, Dale. I'm just kidding.
There's a part of me that's like shooting all over the place and trying to find people to do the job that we need people to do and everything. And we've seen a lot of the people that is on our staff currently right now that can do the job. And for some reason right now, they just haven't figured it out. As much as I say, don't rush, like we should go and get people. But at the same time, like I think Britt Taylor hasn't played well at all. And I think that there is a incredible chance that he somehow comes out next week with a fire under his ass and wants to absolutely rip people's heads off. Like, because it's the same shit we had with Apple and Bates. We've had a couple of games where Bates was terrible, and Bates missed big plays and big opportunities and exposed the wide receivers in the spot. And there was so many different times where these people just genuinely. I'm not saying we shouldn't go look for people because clearly we are not great. We need help on defense. But right now, if we can't get that. Like if we're seeing these people pop up and shit and we can't get the job done and they're just on a veteran deal that we can't sign on it. Why are we like, I don't, if we are losing hope on it because we can't sign these random people that are, doing what Pornchop said he did in the offseason, I don't want to get another problematic person on our team to potentially ruin even what we kind of have on there right now.
Well, the biggest miss was not being able to find a deal somewhere for some pass rush help. And Calais Campbell was a name that we threw out. He's having a great season. Yeah, he's 38 years old. He's on the Dolphins who only have like 2 wins. And it's like, well, was he even available? He didn't get traded anywhere. Well, come to find out, yes, he was available because there was a deal that was pretty much in place that fell through at the last second with the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, you know what never falls through? Midwest Best Barbecue and 50 West Beer, proud sponsors of Bengals and Brews, along with, and when you go to those places, make sure you wear the Chop Shop T-shirts, another proud sponsor of our show. Santori right there. Hey, Travis, you ever make it down to Cincy? Definitely try to stop by one of these places, man. Or both of them.
Hey, tickets are cheap now. You can pick up a cheap ticket.
Yes, you can.
You should stop down sometime.
I got a fun little game I wrote down for you guys. If you guys want to play a game real quick.
Sure, why not?
Did some digging, and I just wanted to have some fun with you guys. As we see how quarterbacks are playing currently in the NFL. So I wanted to just throw 5 games at you and see if you guys can guess if this quarterback won the game for his team or lost the game for his team.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's going to be a lot of Joe Burrow on here.
I'm going to say, yeah.
This week, number 1, there is 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 44.4, 154 yards. Did they win or lose?
What was that it? Last night? Was that Jared Goff's 5 interceptions, or is that another one?
0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a
44. So not 5. Wasn't Jared Goff.
And 154 yards. Did they win or lose?
Well, I'm guessing on the way the game, the facetiousness of this game
Exactly.
is that they won. But should they have won? No, not with that quarterback play.
But they won.
That was a win. That was Patrick Mahomes in Week 6. All right,
Sounds
here's the
about
next
right.
one.
Where's that Chiefs fan? Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Here's the next one. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, 137 QBR, 392 yards. Win or loss?
Loss. This is Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Sounds like a Joe Burrow loss, man. He's had a
Week
couple
5,
of those.
Joe Burrow.
Week 5, Joe Burrow. Yeah.
All
Week
right.
5 against the goddamn Ravens.
Here's number 3 on here. 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 59.7 QBR, 240 yards.
That's
Goff.
one last night.
That's
right?
Jared Goff from last night, isn't
night.
it?
That was Week 9 Jared Goff. That was a win.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
I couldn't believe they won. Like when I went
many
to bed,
interceptions
they were
did,
losing.
Stroud-
I woke up and they lost.
How many interceptions did Stroud have? It was like an interception fucking
3.
game. 3.
3.
Jesus Christ.
It was fun to bet on that game and look and see that.
Hey, Travis, not to get off track of your game, but when you were watching that final fucking field goal, weren't you hoping that bitch would hit that post? I was like, God damn, it was so close. Because I'm like, no way. Joe Mixon's we got to go to overtime and get for Joe.
I got 2 more games, but I want to tell you, I had a 6-team money line of my $10 no sweat, and my last one was the Lions for money line, and I cashed that out for $55. And then I took that. And I took that to the boogered up thing that we're doing where we're betting as doing our podcast stuff. I made a personal video yesterday of the steps I was going to take to turn 20 to 40 to 80 to 160. My very last game of it on the 160 was Gibbs for 50 and Mixon for 60. It was like plus 119. So I cashed that out and I threw the money line and the rushing on it since it was all going to be tied together. And Mixon fucked me out of all of it. I could have won 100, and the winning of it was like 256. And I was like, let's go, dude. And I saw the stat line, and I was like, this is what hell feels like. This is exactly what hell feels like.
With 25 carries, too, he couldn't get to 60 yards.
Yeah, dead to me. Here's a 4th game that I have on here. 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 60.6 QBR with 280 yards. Win or loss?
280 yards are good, but 2 turnovers isn't.
I'm just saying the way the game's going, I feel pretty safe saying win.
That was a win. And that was Josh Allen, Week 9.
Josh Allen.
And so game 5 on here, there's 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 127.5 QBR, and 324 yards.
324. Is that against the Commanders, the Joe Burrow? No. How many touchdowns?
That was the 3 touchdown Commander win or loss. Sorry.
It was.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was the loss.
And then this past week he put up over 400 with 4
I didn't even want to throw that one in there. Everybody knows that one.
Yeah, that's the bonus. That's the bonus 6th one.
The reason why I did that shit is just because it's like you see the stats, you see the people that are picking up wins and the teams that are picking up losses, but you see the stats for their offense, and you're looking at everybody in the league. Don't just look at yourself, but look at how all these games are playing, how fucking awful some of these. Like, look, the 4:00 slate for Sunday was one of the worst football games I've ever watched. All of them, it was dog shit. And you're looking at all the NFL, and that's why, I have so much more hope than I think I probably should. And I'm looking at seeing the rest of our season, and I'm looking at the Steelers' rest of their season, where they're going through a gauntlet. Well, they're playing really good right now, but they are going through the AFC North 3 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row, I think, actually. And I don't think that the Ravens have it. I think they're more of a mid than a great. The offense can be super explosive, but at times when Henry gets shut down, that whole offense is starting to get shut down.
Their secondary is awful, too. That's going to hurt them.
They're the worst passing defense in the league.
Yeah.
They're the worst passing defense in the league. So you're looking at Baltimore. And I'm not saying just AFC North, but I'm looking at AFC as a whole. Chiefs are, I'm not going to say frauds because they're literally doing exactly what we did in 2022 when we were just winning games.
You're right.
They're just winning games. That's all that matters is winning games. And for the Chiefs to be in there consistently winning games, whenever they lose one, we saw what happened to the Eagles when they finally lost one. Was it last year or 2 years ago when they were one of the worst teams you've ever seen, but somehow were undefeated? They just started losing their ass nonstop. They were playing dog awful. I got a lot of hope. I got a lot of light in my eyes when it comes to the Bengals in the future. It just all depends on the one play, the one thing that happens. And as long as we can simplify those, I can see a huge green slate on the rest of our season, even with the Steelers. And I think the Steelers are the biggest competition we have left. By all means, we face them twice.
Also, as long as we're talking about the Steelers, fuck Tyler Kelly.
Yeah.
Fuck the Steelers.
Fuck Tyler Kelly.
Fuck everything about the Steelers. Fuck
especially Tyler Kelly.
Yeah, I mean everything. Yeah, fuck the color yellow. I hate everything
except for LSU. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you'd watch out, Trav.
And these glasses, these yellow tints.
Hey, everybody knows purple and yellow purple goes better with yellow than black goes with yellow.
Fuck black and yellow. That combination together. Yeah, black and yellow. Fuck that combo.
Fuck everything about them.
Stupid
But gotta give hats off to them. They're doing.
Oh, by the way, Chop, were you upset the Bengals didn't sign Leonard Fournette?
No. I mean, look, man, just because they fucking played for LSU, what are they going to sign? Am I going to be upset they didn't sign Shaquille O'Neal? Fuck, he played for LSU.
I'd love to sign Shaquille O'Neal.
Probably help us in the trenches.
I was going to say, Chop, sign me up for that. Sign everybody. Yeah.
We need neon in the trenches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just say, Chop,
no, just because look, I'm not that big of a homer, and also them motherfuckers got me pissed off now too, cocksuckers.
Yeah, they did not play well versus Alabama.
They fucking sucked. What? I'm not trying to get off track, but how many spots did Nussmeier fall on your fucking board, Dale?
I just moved him out to 2026.
Yeah,
because I don't see any way he can come out.
They're not going to the playoffs. But
he'd be really dumb. He'd be really dumb to come out this season. He already had a limited amount of starts. He needed to continue dominating through the season, and he's just had too many turnovers lately. So the only thing Nussmeier can and should do is go back to school for another year and then improve his draft stock. It's going to be a bad year for quarterbacks. Happen.
But then you convinced me that it's a weak quarterback class, so maybe he would have a better shot this year.
It is, but hey, he's got the arm talent. So, I mean, that's half the battle right there. He's just got more experience and more better decision-making, and he could have a strong end of the year, but I think he goes back another one, puts himself, right back in a top 10 pick conversation even for the following year.
Where do we have to pick to get your guy from Penn State?
Oh, Abdul Carter, man. I've got him like third overall now. I had him at fifth, and I was messing around today, and I'm like, I got to bump this. I don't know if he'll go that high, but that's how talented he is. The dude is just playing phenomenal. First year as a full-time edge instead of linebacker, and it's like, yeah, just let him cook. He's amazing.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time to talk about the draft.
It's sad when we're in week, 10?
Yeah.
And we're talking about fucking the draft next year.
Well, I always talk about the draft. You know that.
Yeah, exactly.
That draft guide. So,
speaking of draft guide, Dale, why don't you explain them once again about the draft guide that's out right now?
You can get a draft guide.
You can.
$5, Project Game Day, all to charity.
Updated. Do you get the draft guide, Trevor?
Email it to you.
It gets updated. Like, I'll look through my email. Dale sent me a new one. Like, is Dale texting me something bad or email me something bad? No, it's the updated draft guide. That's what's cool with Dale. Every single week you get
pictures of my asshole.
Yeah.
There is a picture hidden in there of your asshole. It's like Find Waldo.
Well, Dale, I did tell you one time I wanted to get inside of you to know your information.
Yeah.
You've been in there.
Yeah.
You got the draft guide, Travis?
Travis don't care about the draft. He still says we're going on a run.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The draft. Every year we always talk about the draft. Fuck the draft. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't care about none of that. I've never cared about any of that. The one year I was on this fucking show, I started caring about this shit, and then we signed people, and then I liked people, and then we didn't have them on the team, and I was like, God damn it, now I got emotions for these people for no fucking reason. I was like, what the fuck?
That's what I said. Like, I was telling them that, like, Cam Taylor-Britt's parents come down to our tailgate, where we tailgate often. And I was saying, man, I feel bad talking about Cam, how he's not playing well, because I love his mom and dad. They're great,
I love him. I really do.
It does give you a different perspective when you get to know people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you also got to call it what it is. He's just not
exactly.
This season. At the end of the day.
You know who knows? Let me tell you something. One person that knows that Cam Taylor-Britt's playing like shit is fucking Cam Taylor-Britt.
Cam Taylor-Britt.
Yeah, and that's why, you can tell.
So, man, if he got that interception, win that game. You know what I mean?
Look,
it's like,
hey,
the story of the season, right? So close.
Week 2, he had the best interception of the season.
One fucking play. That's all it is. It's one play, one error, one situation.
Chase Brown doesn't fumble. There was a lot of plays in that Ravens game.
Don't do
that was could have been the one play. If we don't fumble, we're up 14 and we're driving. Probably put more points on the board. Their fans were booing already. They were already booing. Like it could have turned ugly if we would have got the touchdown on that drive and went out.
Chase Brown fumble. Travis, I mean, just one little mistake can change the whole momentum. Because I think you could agree. Second half, we were being smart with the offense, going as slow as we can to keep Lamar off the field, 2 touchdowns. Even if we would have gotten a field goal on that drive, that game would have been sealed.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. 4 and 6.
And I'm not even, and that's why, like, I don't sit here and, like, I fucking have seen all over social media, which I agree, and I've said it on here already. I absolutely despise anybody that walks in stripes right now, basically, but I'm not going to sit here and say that they are the reason why we lost that Baltimore Ravens game. Do I think that that's more on the Chiefs game? Yeah, 100%. I think that, especially in that one, I was one that said, hey, you can call that. By all means, you can call that, but I got my eye on you, and we're going to find out how consistent you can be through the remainder of this season.
We saw it last night.
Add in the Ravens game where they decided, hey, we'll swallow the whistle on this final play. More often than not, they swallow the whistle when it's 4th and 17 and the guy's going for the ball.
With the crew.
So that Chiefs win, that's what's unreal.
With the crew that is the most flag-happy crew in the NFL.
Well, for the Ravens.
And I mean, we're getting calls left and right that are good, that are actual calls. Like, there were not many calls during that Ravens and Bengals game were calls that were like, ticky-tacky shit. Like, you could go with it and be like, okay, that was a penalty, 100%. Right. Yeah. And somehow at the very end of the game, you eat your whistles and you don't blow when there's shit going all over the place. And nothing was more surprising than seeing the announcers, as it's been announced on this show, that the NFL fucking hates the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
And for the announcers to sit there and Al Michaels just get pissed. You can just hear him disgruntled and frustrated, saying that there's too many games this season that are decided like this, and there's too many opportunities for people to watch good football and be fucking taken away.
Crib Keeper wants to know, Greg, who's the better tickler, Mike Brown or Chris Cook from church camp?
How do you remember that name?
Crip's just right. He's got some things that he must write down.
He's got to be writing this down or something.
He's like Chris Cook, never forget, took that shit at church camp.
Yeah, no. So, Travis, I'll tell you a story at a church camp I went to. There was a rule at church camp. If you took a dump in a toilet and you leave it and it was clogged, everybody had to go in one by one to get 2 or 3 clogs in to see if you can clog the toilet. I was so close to being either. I think I was 3rd or 4th behind, but for my luck, some lucky person unclogged it. He said he dropped a log in there. We were all ticked off. And Chris Cook, if you're watching this, we all knew it was you. Word gets out, Chris.
This guy, Chris Cook, he has told this story at least 10 times on here. This guy, Chris Cook, has to hate Greg with a passion. If more people watch the show and it got around to him, but poor Chris Cook, man.
Yeah. Goddamn Chris Cook.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And listen, though, Greg, he used to be on the top bunk, and Greg was on the bottom, and Greg would fucking jerk off all the time. So it ain't like he had any better.
Chris Cook couldn't even get.
Chris Cook and I were never cabin mates.
He probably shook that fucking turd loose.
No. Chris Cook.
Oh, so who was above you that you jerked off on?
Yeah, right.
I never did.
So whoa, you were bottom bunk or top bunk?
Bottom.
I was bottom. I never did that.
You were bottom.
He's a bottom.
He was shooting up.
Bottom.
Trying to hit.
Are you an aggressive jerker?
No, I didn't do that at camp. Now,
did you shake that man awake?
Wait,
because I'm gonna be honest. If you're nice, don't go hiding from.
Wait a minute. Now Greg didn't jerk off in church camp.
Yeah, I thought you rubbed your dick against the wood one time.
Yeah, you rubbed it on the wood.
Craig's pleading the 5th now, boys. I plead the 5th.
Lord,
I don't know what you're talking about,
Greg.
We weren't allowed to jerk off. And also, he didn't go swimming naked with all the goddamn counselors and whatnot there at church camp.
Greg, you ever fuck a couch?
Oh, dude!
Like
I'll get you a sandwich bag and some Vaseline and some instructions.
Back to the Bengals.
Sandwich bag, Vaseline, your sweat chair, boom, boom, date night.
Yeah. Victoria says, "Why does Travis sound like an attorney on cross examination?"
I need to make sure that I get all the facts straight here before I make an assessment on this person, because I don't want to see another person in a different light than what I already have. But I'm hearing Dickwood, I'm hearing bunk bed jerking, I'm hearing an awful lot of things. So I just need to make sure that all of it just piles
Don't
up.
forget the church camp skinny dip.
Yeah.
Church camp skinny dip.
That's
the Lord.
Dip.
You're skinny dipping on the Lord, Greg.
Did you want to speak into the church? I will tell you this story.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
I was taking a walk one night, and
be careful.
My dad made something really, really bad and all that and stuff, Travis. And I was taking a walk, and my stomach's about to rupture. And a lot of times I have to call a family member to pick me up. But this dude, I wasn't going to hold. And I was near a Presbyterian church, and man, I was praying to Jesus, and I thought I was going to have to crap in the bushes. I would have given them fresh manure for a good point right there. But luckily the door was open, and it looks like some dude just cleaned the bathroom. I'm like, sorry, buddy, I got to. No, nobody saw me.
Greg. Lucky for you, or lucky for the entire rest of the world's population?
Rest of the world's population. But yeah, there you go. And so I took a dump. In there, and I was about to close the door the way I found it and all that. I'm like, oh no, the door was open, but I was gonna. I said to myself, do I leave it open how I found it, or I close? I leave that thing closed. I don't want to stink up the church or anything. And I got the hell out of there before anybody saw me because I heard somebody in there. But I'm like, man. But whoever's watching, if everyone in the church is watching this, I just want to let you know you get an A+ for great toilets in there because you guys can put up with me. Usually I clog up a toilet everywhere I go, and you guys pass.
Your house, you got that one that'll flush 500 fucking golf
Yeah,
balls.
this man bought a toilet that because the capacity is 500 golf balls.
Right.
90 golf balls. 90.
Because you can flush 90 golf balls or
Chop,
one of Greg's turds.
Well, Chop. So I sent the picture one time, and Chop, he's done some great work. But this was Chop. Explain to Travis what you did one time because this was your best.
I just made that. I photoshopped Greg in front of the Presbyterian church, and on the sign of the Presbyterian church, it put I don't know what the fuck did I write? Like
I don't remember.
It said
well, Greg, please don't.
I just made the sign say Greg Luther, please don't shit in our church again or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was
all right. So yeah, we got a game Sunday. We'll probably be back on Friday at 3:30 to preview that game, give over-unders, all that fun shit. Hopefully we know if T. Higgins is playing or not, so that can be part of it. And
Travis won't be here Friday, so let's just not us, but let's real quick get Travis's
score prediction
for the Chargers.
I haven't broke eye contact with Greg since these things have been said. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Me either. Plus, I'm touching my balls.
No, hey, you got eye contact with Chop now, Trav.
I honestly did. Broke eye contact. Look at Chop after he said that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want me to do the prediction of the Chargers game?
Yeah.
Yeah, score prediction.
27-24.
27-20. Bengals?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I could see this the Bengals not getting up in the 30s on this one because their defense is so good. Like I think our defense is gonna have to step it up,
I think
that's a good score prediction.
I think everything fits in there if we throw the ball to Jamar Chase over 20 yards in the first drive, and we at least get 3 out of that. But we have to make a big pass. Or if T decides to actually rub some dirt on it or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
I love T with all my heart, and this is probably the worst part of the whole season is the fact that T. Higgins is doing this right now. But
yeah,
I hope he's actually injured and I don't hope that on anybody. I really hope that he's injured.
Sentence, Travis.
Yeah.
I really hope that it's not something for him not wanting to play due to the fact of his contract stuff not going through and everything. But I really hope that he is not able to play. And the times he is playing decent. So I'm hoping that he's making sure he can come back strong. Like McCaffrey was able to come last week, but he decided to come back this week. I hope we hold him back a little bit. And through this second half, we have our 1 and 2, and we're able to do what we need to do. And even if we don't, we got Andre Handsome. I don't know that dude's name.
Greg's wishing that guy was on the top bunk.
That's a fucking handsome son of a bitch. Let me tell you.
He is. I mean, I ain't gay, but I would fuck shit out of that guy.
That's a wild sentence to say out loud, but I agree to it.
True though. I mean, he's a really good looking man. How can you deny it?
man is a model. And honestly, I think that he's a great player as well. And I think that we can do really well. And I think that we'll take the dub going to bye week. And I think the momentum starts all with Pittsburgh. Because I think we can beat the Chargers. But if we go through the bye week and we end up facing the Steelers and lose bad and our offense is disgruntled, pack it up, boys. There's no way we're getting out of that one. But if we lose and it's a close game, hey, that's just even more fire because we just lost to Pittsburgh. And that just pissed us off even more. But thank you guys very much for having me on the show today. Genuinely.
Yeah, man. Tell them where to find Boogered Up and win this one.
Boogered Up on all platforms. Boogered Up podcast. We just
tell them what Boogered Up is about.
Boogered Up is a comedy podcast. There's 6 guys involved in it, 3 on the set, currently at the set right now. We just go around everything in the social media world and such of that nature, but also we talk about, our teams. We talk about funny stuff that's going, I'm looking at the board of what we talked about last episode. There's Sherry's Ranch. There's legal prostitution ranch in Nevada. There's the ghost hunting game. There is sports. There's iconic sports injuries. We just talk about a bunch of shit. Genuinely, like, especially right now. I said it last time when I was on this podcast, but podcast is supposed to be for you to feel like you're not where you're at right now and you are hanging out with a bunch of homies and you get to relax and, whether you're working,
exactly,
driving, whatever the case is, you're hanging out with those people in particular and they're making you laugh. They're making you think differently about different things. And more importantly, they're keeping you on your toes. And that's what this cast does. And it's an honor and privilege to be a part of this podcast and especially your guys as well, because you guys do the same shit, but you go on something that I love, the Bengals. So if you guys love this show, you guys would love Boogered Up, and we're on all platforms. So check us out.
Right now, there's a discount. You can subscribe to both for free on YouTube.
Buy one for free and get one for free.
Limited time. Subscribe to both for free on YouTube.
If you have not yet, seriously, it means the world to anybody that's making content out there at all. It doesn't do anything to you. Subscribe, and comment that shit. If you're commenting that this sucks, it still helps. It's not nice, but it still helps. Also, if you're commenting fucking negative things on people's things, go touch grass. Go do something. What are you doing? Anyways, seriously, go comment, subscribe, like. If you see them on Twitter, if you see Bengals and Brews who tweets nonstop about a bunch of Bengal stuff and you like it or you enjoy it, don't be afraid to retweet it because that is going to help the page tremendously as well as everybody's that is your friend that makes content. Like it's such a small thing that nobody really understands unless you're in the realm and you're making content, you're doing that stuff. If you share it, it means the world to that person. So please, by all means, find our podcast and love these guys still. These guys are fucking great.
Well said, sir. It's good to see you. Good to have you on here again. Appreciate everything you do. I love you, brother.
Love y'all.